Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Katie and welcome to another bookish adventure. So today I'm doing a book review, first book review of 2020, and it is of Power of Dawn. So, if you watched my reading vlogs covering this, you will know that mixed feelings were definitely abundant with this book. Not to say I didn't like it, because I so did. There was just, I think, a lot of expectations and a lot of disappointments because of those expectations. However, I really did enjoy this book, and okay, I did only give it 3 stars. However, I think if I reread this again, I think I would totally love it in a completely different way, and I think because I would know what to expect, I would so be all over this. I'm gonna put this down because this is gonna get messy. So okay, this is gonna be so full of spoilers, I don't think I'm gonna be able to stop myself from spoiling. So to cover a non-spoiler aspect for you, do you need to read this book to read the rest of the series? Probably not, no. I did not know this, but this was originally meant to be a novella, which may go a ways to explaining my issues with the plot. So, no, you probably don't have to. However, Kale is not in the last book, and when I was reading it, although obviously I have read them now, not when they came out, so I knew that there was a book coming with Kale. However, had I been reading this as and when it came out, I would have been like, what the hell is going on? You've sent him off like to some other land to go get healed and to go raise you an army, and you're not showing it. So yeah, I totally would have been reading that book like, okay, what? It is nice to actually have that, and to be honest, I feel like Kale is going to come back a different person in the next book, and yeah, it is a little bit important to know what the hell happened because a lot happened. Plot wise, this book is so much more low-key, way calmer. Gone are the emotional and like just the dramatics of the previous books that had been ramping and building. It is so much more calmer. It is definitely more on the emotional side and the character development side, not just of Kale, but of Irene the healer and a little bit of Nesrin too. So once I kind of realized that this book wasn't going where I thought it would go, and I was thinking, okay, well maybe there'll be more plot and intrigue and kind of which of the royals can we trust. There was none of that. So I kind of had to settle in for a completely different ride, and when I was on my way home and I was thinking about what I wanted to say, on reflection, there were so many key moments in this that I was like, oh my god, I love that scene, oh my god, I love that scene, oh, and this scene. This book was a series. It was an emotional and personal journey interspersed with like key scenes that had me like either laughing out loud or sat there like, oh! So it was filled like that, and then towards the end, like a lot kind of wrapped up, more of the plot to come for the book start to get unraveled. So yeah, this book was way more low-key in terms of plot. However, the character development and the emotional development and just the healing aspect of just Kale, not just physically but mentally, was so good and so worth 5 stars. So in answer, read it. It's probably a good idea. And it's one more book. If you've come this far, you can read one more book. So that's probably as far as I can get for non-spoiler because I get so much I need to say. Thank you for stopping by. Go read the books and come back. So this series has definitely been a series of what the hell moments in which I've been sat there crying or like, what in the name of God. So we come into this book and it is just so much more relaxed and so much more just slower. Not necessarily a bad thing. I think had I known that coming into it, I probably would have completely enjoyed it in a different way. Yes, it is very obvious that who is going to end up with who, because it is nice to have a strip back we're just following 4 people. That is quite nice. It's been so used to following everyone, it's very much like, oh, this is nice. So yeah, it is very obvious that Irene and Kale are gonna end up together, and I didn't care because what I enjoyed was the progression and that development of them two. That was just what was nice. Just the healing aspect when they worked together was just, oh my god. This is something that I really did start to love as I sort of was like, okay, plot is not happening. The description of how her magic works and how it was working while she was healing Kale, it was stuff like that. It is that extra detail that was so making up for the lack of plot, and that what not only did she have to fight darkness, but he did too, and it was becoming very clear that it wasn't just going to be on her part, but mentally for him, he was going to have to break to really fix himself. And then obviously the rest of the plot is this threat and doom that is coming, and kind of finding out things. And this is what I mean by the plot just wasn't there, in the sense of, you know, you had the attack in the Torre, but then nothing really happened. You had one of the Kagan's sons, Caution, asking Kale to be his eyes and ears, but then nothing really came of that. So I was thinking, okay, so maybe we'll get some plot and intrigue, but none of it. But like I said, there were so many standout moments that just had me like, oh, the bit that broke me was when Kale went to self-defense class, because I absolutely love that, until Irene was like, who wants to help him off his horse? And I was like, oh god. And they all ran for him, and they it was just heartbreaking to have to read. I was just like, oh my god, Kale, this is just, and you know she so doesn't realize what she's done, but even still, it's like, how could you not realize? That moment had me when Irene pushed the princess into the pool, and I was like, oh, heads are gonna roll. It was so good. It was moments like that that had me, like that whole dinner before they got there as well, where I was just sat there like, oh, when they were suggesting that Irene should marry Caution, and he was like, no, she's not going to, and I was like, oh, I didn't know you got saying this. It just got so tense. It was moments like those that really made it for me. It was nice for Nesrin to go back as well to her home country and to see the other sides of it, because she's obviously very much like a free spirit and a traveler, and it was quite nice that she had her own little legend as well. Was I disappointed that Kale and Nesrin were no more? Not really. I think because of how it was introduced, it was clearly a we're just banging sort of situation. However, there was the veiled kind of, or maybe something will happen, but there was no real kind of anything. But I guess to Kale, he is a man of honor. He's been raised in that way of that. In suggesting this, you were also kind of suggesting something like happen. So I wasn't that fussed, because there was no real chemistry or real anything, because that's literally all they were. And she was very aware of that. She was very much aware of the fact of, oh no, we're just like frick fracking. There's like nothing here. If something happens, great. So I wasn't fussed that it didn't happen. I was interested in the pairing because she was so like blasé and so whatever Kale. Like I quite liked it, but I wasn't like, from like him and Selena from the get-go, I was like, happen, sleep together right now. Him and Nesrin, I was like, oh, okay, Kale, I see what you're doing. But him and Irene, I was like, oh baby, you need to fall in love right now and marry this girl. Like straight away, there was just that. So yeah, I did enjoy it on reflection. However, I just think the lack of just plot grabbiness just kind of lost it for me, which is just a huge shame, because the previous books, I guess, have been such of a standard in that sense, that to kind of go to a book that was so low-key was just quite it's one of these things. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. You're gonna find it refreshing or you're not. I am somewhat in the middle. Maybe if I had known beforehand, I would have been fine with it. And I think, again, like I said, when I reread them, because I will be going into it knowing that this is a much more like dialed down book, I will probably enjoy it so much more. I guess I wasn't expecting such a human and personal element to it. You know, him having like to being healed of his injuries, not just physically but mentally as well, played such a huge part of it. So yeah, like the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm like, actually maybe it was 3.5 stars, maybe it was 4, but no, I do kind of stick to my guns on it was a 3, because that initial kind of disappointment of not having all that build up and all that plot did really kind of knock this wind out of my sails, because I don't know, I just guess from reading the others, it had just been building and just quite emotionally battering, which I guess probably is great to have a break from. But like I said, I did enjoy it, and personally I do think you should read it before you read the last one, just because I think Kale is going to come back so differently. He will be a completely different person, slightly, not massively, don't get me wrong, he's now not a hippie giving out flowers, but I just think, yeah, there will be such a huge change in him. And also it was nice reading it knowing where they were in the timeline, like when Hassar was saying about the attack in Searles Bay and how that had happened. So it was kind of nice knowing where we were in regards to that, because obviously Nesrin spent quite a few weeks away, nearly like well over a month I think. Totally didn't see Duva coming as being corrupted, and this is what I meant, that I really think they could have really worked with that plot line so much. The minute Caution said to him, be my eyes and ears, I thought, oh, we're gonna get some palace intrigue right here. I was pretty suspicious of his servant Kadja, but at the same time I also thought, I don't know, would that be too obvious that it was her? But yeah, so didn't see Duva coming at all. I did not expect it to be her. I don't even know why, actually. In fact, I don't even really think I suspected. I suppose I thought maybe one of them might have killed Tumalin, but I don't know, just like it wasn't actually, I think because that plot was just so like meep. It wasn't even something on my radar, so that when that happened I was like, oh god, yeah, right, someone killed her, right, okay, yeah, I completely forgot. Like, I just thought it was just going to be some random, or like a palace soldier or a bazaar. Possibly I did think it was going to be the queen because you never saw her apart from when she was crying in the gardens, so I thought maybe it's going to be her. It would have been nice to have the odd chapter coming from a royal's point of view where you find out maybe certain information and you're like, wait, can we trust them, wait, can we not trust them? That would have been nice. Sarah did such a good job at giving Kale a story he deserved. I think if you don't like him, then this might help you change your mind towards him. If you love him like I do, this is just gonna break your heart even more. So yeah, I think it's one of these books. She did a really good job at giving him just that bit more. A lot has obviously been on his shoulders, and he is a good person, just stuck in a situation with, you know, the king being possessed and wanting to do the right thing, and Alean, and just all of it. It was a good book, just trying to weigh up the pros and cons. There probably are more like pros, but I just can't get over the plot problem. But I am really looking forward to now reading the last one, that we're going to kind of be back together and everything's going to be happening, and just, I'm not sure my soul can take it. I'm not 100% sure that I'm emotionally ready, because finding out that Maeve was really Volg, I was putting on my makeup and I was just stood there like, wait, what? And I was like, wait, what? I actually had to go back. I was listening to an audiobook and went back 30 seconds. I was like, bitch, you need to say that sentence again. And then yeah, I remember I was like then reading the following bits on my lunch break, and I was just sat there like, oh my god. And I got to the bit where the four of them were sat there together after everything happened, and Nestorine just said it. She just went, Maeve is the Volg queen. And I was like, oh god, yeah, no, this is still happening. It was just, it really just like, I knew it, but reading it was different to hearing it, and I don't know why, but reading that sentence, I was like, okay, yeah, Maeve is Volg, okay, Maeve is Volg, like, this is happening. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was all over the place, but it wouldn't be me if I made notes whilst reading a book. No, we like to just let things happen and say things as and when they come to my head. If you enjoyed it, then hit that like button and show me your thumbs, and of course comment below with your thoughts of Tower of Dawn, just all of it, just all of it. If you're new, hit the subscribe button and press that bell and never miss a video. I will see you Thursday for another weekly reading vlog. I hope you had a very lovely weekend, and I'll see you Thursday.